Cincinnati with a 14-10 halftime lead over Tennessee in a game really dominated by Tennessee statistically. It's pretty incredible when you look at the numbers. Time of possession, obviously, there at the bottom, in total yards, passing yards, and over 100 yards already on the ground for Eddie George. But Corey Dillon got 80 of the 110 for Cincinnati on one play. And so the big plays and the turnovers, the catalyst for Cincinnati here.
Yeah, but there are a couple of equalizers in situations where it's lopsided in those departments. One is big plays, which you're going to see Corey Dillon right here ripping off the 80-yard touchdown run. That's one of the equalizers right here, showing tremendous effort, doing exactly what he wants to do. Give this guy the ball. He wants to carry this team. And then, you know, you had a situation where Steve McNair had a chance to salt this thing away early, at least break their backs. Tremendous job right here on the Titans getting the ball in. That's Derek Mason, the 19-yard reception for a touchdown. And then you got Frank Wycheck here on a little hook route, but it's picked off. McNair probably stayed with him a little bit longer than anticipated. Darrell Williams taking it in the distance there for the run for the touchdown. Those are the problems. Big plays will neutralize a team that's in an advantage situation as far as the statistical category. Yeah,
and obviously the question with the Bengals is that can they finish what they got started? Last week they started the second half with a 13-10 lead, but emotionally they were downtrodden over the turnover that led to the touchdown off the sack of quarterback Achilles Smith. Again, a pooch kick taken by an up-back, Marco Battaglia, the tight end, and he immediately takes a knee, which he certainly can do, and is down at the 27-yard line. That's where Cincinnati takes over first and 10. With Achilles Smith.
Not necessarily fleet of foot. You know, they know when it's time to take a knee.
They'll actually mark it at the 28 rather than the 27, and that's where the Bengals take over. Can you stand prosperity? That's the question for Cincinnati as we open the second half.
You know, a lot of teams can't handle success. I think in the case of Cincinnati, they learned their lesson last week. They didn't jeopardize a lead at halftime. They just took advantage of the situation they were in and try to build on that momentum.
Dillon puts his head down and gets beyond the 30 to the 31-yard line. Randall Godfrey, unrestricted free agent from the Cowboys, picked up by Tennessee, up there to make the stop to improve the linebacking core of Tennessee, which some experts have questioned because of its lack of size, if not speed, quickness, and emotion. 2nd and 6. Smith for McGee. First time we've called his name today. He's looked for Tony McGee. That's a favorite target of his. Eddie Robinson there to make the stop. Up to the 36-yard line, still a couple of yards shy of a first down.
The old fast Eddie Robinson, he's been a staple in this defense for a long time, dating back to the days when they were the Oilers. Jeff Fisher really likes his intelligence. He plays the game smart.
We have not called Javon Kearse's name all day. Willie Anderson has gotten the job done. Dillon. Should have enough for the first down at the 38-yard line. Robinson again making the stop.
Well, I think in terms of Javon Kearse's ability, I think Willie's going to handle him this way. If he's getting a tremendous amount of upfield push, they're probably going to let him go a little bit. Where he becomes most dangerous is when he can come underneath, get a tackle or a defensive end on an island, or an offensive end on an island, and then make a guy miss. But as long as they're handling this guy upfield, he's going to be fine.
Well, the freak has not been able to get freaky today. Play fake. Over the middle, in and out of the hands. Very catchable pass for Dugans. A couple were thrown behind him in the first half. That one should have been caught. Denard Walker was there. Wasn't a perfect pass, but one he could have reeled in.
Well, Javon Kearse, a non-factor on the prior play because he got upfield. Now he's getting double teamed here. You don't have a fighting chance when you got big bodies in front of you. Battaglia there and Willie Anderson.
2nd down and 10. Out of an I formation now with Gross the up back. And again, following Anderson, running right at Javon Kearse, but nothing doing this time. In fact, may have lost some yardage. Kenny Holmes and John Thornton were in on the stop. They lost a yard on that play. 3rd and 11 coming up.
Anderson now doesn't need any help right here. He's handling them all by himself. got him underneath those pads. As long as he can keep it in there, that's not holding. He's doing a fine job on Javon Curse.
Looked like he had a little jersey to me.
He can hold him. As long as it's inside those shoulder pads, they'll give that to him.
That's true. Just thought I'd point it out. A little judo action there, the gentle way. Holding on for dear life. 3rd and 11.
Pressure.
Tipped into the air. Very dangerous that time. That one deflected by Blaine Bishop, who was coming up with the pressure with the blitz. And they got after Smith in 3rd and long that time and will force a punt formation.
He may be just 5'9", but he can get up. He's got some hops. Tremendous athletic ability number 23 possesses. And again, that 46 defense, born out of the years when he was with Buddy Ryan in Chicago. It's a hybrid, but it's still very effective in terms of pressure.
4th and 11. Daniel Pope will punt it away. Long spiral, but plenty of room for Mason. Oh, nice work. You know, when he gathered that in, he had about 8 yards. And then the shoestring tackle came from Artrell Hawkins. 46-yard boot, a 5-yard return.
This mystery of the missing $500,000 must be cleared up, and somebody here knows where it is. Plum? Who the blazes are you?
I'm Gus.
What you think this is? Some sort of a game?
Yeah, got it in the Sunday paper.
Clear up the Sprint PCS Clue mystery and you could win $500,000. Get your game piece and great savings in your newspaper and at participating retailers.
This little guy here is the Malaysian elephant cricket. There are only 4 left in the entire world. Let's get a microphone in a little closer so that we can hear its very unique, very beautiful mating call. Closer. Just a little closer. You idiot!
Did we get the shot?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
What'd you do?
Make it a Bud Light.
Most people wouldn't want to ask their boss for money to wreck cars with. But I did. What we learn is invaluable. Our goal is to make a repaired car as safe as it was before. No other insurance company bothers to do this. But for our customers, it's money well spent. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Tuesday on 60 Minutes 2, Mike Wallace and Tipper Gore on how they both beat depression.
You mentioned suicide. I confess I've thought about it. Did you?
Tuesday at 9, 8 Central.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Just underway, 3rd quarter at Paul Brown Stadium. Cincinnati surprisingly with the lead against the Titans. Tennessee's first possession of the 2nd half. Eddie George had a big hole that closed quickly as he got past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Oliver Gibson, 6-year veteran, coming over to make the stop. Over 100 yards rushing for him now, 102 on the day. 5 100-plus yard games and 9 starts against the Bengals. You know, you look back at the series between these two teams, and they've been close. Last year, in a season in which Tennessee made it to the Super Bowl, in week 1, they had to come from behind to beat Cincinnati at home when they opened Adelphia Stadium, 35-34. Floats one out to a wide open George. Well, that was well set up, and a great cutback. Down he goes at the 50, a saving tackle by Rodney Heath, who tripped him up, and I think he got the worst of it. He's still on the ground, is Heath at the 47-yard line, a 24-yard pickup.
And if you've ever seen the legs on Eddie George, to try to make an arm tackle on a guy who's got a head of momentum and speed coming up, that's tough. It's tough enough to tackle any running back in open space, but when you get it to him on a little floater like this and give him plenty of options, you're coming inside it out, you better freeze and break down and get in a great tackling position. Otherwise, he's going to make you miss. That's where the injury took place right there. Sticking your arm out, trying to tackle a guy. Eddie George is much too strong for that. That's Steve Foley on the missed tackle.
And Heath injured his arm as he actually did make enough contact to bring him down. He's still on the ground. Rodney Heath, we mentioned, a young man, a native Cincinnatian, played collegiately at Minnesota. In high school here, Western Hills High School, and he drew the starting nod over Autrell Hawkins, who was beaten a couple of times late in the game against Miami last week. They tried to keep it quiet all week long, but most around Cincinnati had observed that Heath had moved up in practice, and that hand appears to be immobilized. Well, we'll check on his status and pass whatever information we can along as soon as we find out from the sidelines. First down and 10 at midfield for Tennessee. Oh, what a hit. Hat to hat. Adrian Ross on Rodney Thomas, who had just come into the game after the nice pass and catch from McNair to Eddie George.
Yeah, the running back out of A&M made a crucial mistake. Low man's always wins. Look at the shoulder pads. You get your shoulder pads underneath Rodney Thomas, not the biggest guy in the world. You're going to lose. Take another look at it, ground level. My pads lower than your pads, you lose.
That looked like Larry Mahan with a calf. Right, just a takedown in a rodeo. Second and 10. Quick out. Caught to Derek Mason at the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5 when we come back to New York for an NFL update. Jim Nance.
All right, Timmy, watch this now. The Miami defense stars again. This time it's Jermaine Haley getting to Jonathan Linton for a safety. The Bills have 47 yards total offense, and they're down 15-3. Let's go back to Tim and Spencer.
You look at Miami and you say they're not as good as Buffalo, but they've got a better record and they're beating the Bills right now. That's a tough one for the Bills to absorb after a quality start beating this Tennessee team. Over the middle and deep. Caught inside the 10, Chris Sanders, the speed merchant. 40 yards and a 1st and goal for Tennessee.
Talked about how Chris Sanders has got that burner speed, the track star of Ohio State. He's got tremendous ability. Nothing special here. Sets him up on a nice shake move outside and underneath on a skinny post. Does a tremendous job of hauling that ball in. Great extension, great physical athletic talent on the catch. Sanders, big play.
McNair opens the second half 3 for 3 on his opening drive. He was 3 for 3 to open the game in what was a nice long drive that led to a field goal. It was a 68-yard drive on his 3 pass completions. Eddie George, touchdown. We talked about Dick LeBeau trying to bring a businessman's approach to the Cincinnati Bengals since taking over for Bruce Coslet, who resigned. This drive was all business for Tennessee.
That's right. A little ISO play, and look at that. Lorenzo Neal leading the way up. He didn't have anybody to block. Lorenzo looking for somebody to hit. Said, find me somebody. You know, he's salivating, and he just steps it in there for the touchdown. Eddie George doing it again.
And Sanders congratulated, making that diving snare of a 40-yard pass from McNair, the key play in the drive. Right through the uprights for Del Greco. 17-14. Tennessee reclaims the lead.
Avaya, communication without boundaries.
In 5 billion years, Earth has never seen anything like it. The Honda Rubicon. 500 cc's of extraordinary power and the most advanced automatic ATV transmission to ever run the planet, the Honda-matic. When you're the best on Earth, Earth is your only competition.
When the fate of the free world is at stake,
they're gonna kill the president of Russia.
Every second counts. An all-new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
Last Friday, millions of Americans made The Fugitive a runaway hit. Accused of a murder he did not commit, Dr. Richard Kimball escaped from the law. Now, he'll come face to face with the real killer.
I died, you died.
Don't miss an all-new episode of television's newest sensation, The Fugitive. CBS Friday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Avaya, communication without boundaries. The world's most popular ATVs, Honda, best on earth. And by NASDAQ.com, who can tell you more about stocks than the stock market.
17-14, Tennessee with the lead. Eddie George, 5-yard touchdown run, 32 yards of that drive, the other 40 coming on the pass to Sanders. A magnificent catch. Again, a short kick from Hendrick, taken by Yeast. And the former Kentucky speed merchant gets it up to the 29-yard line, a 10-yard return for him. Next Sunday, superstars of the ladies tour, including Julie Inkster, Carrie Webb, Laura Davies, Betsy King, Kelly Robbins, Annika Sorenstam, and defending champion Sauri Pak are expected at the Samsung World Championship. Check your local listings. Only 3 of the Bengals' 23 plays today have been for over 5 yards. But those 3 plays, the 80-yard run by Dillon, a 20-yard run by Smith, and then the 15-yard pass to Battaglia. That 80-yarder by Dillon was crucial in keeping Cincinnati very much in this game. And just as we mentioned it, he bounces off one tackler and makes another 4 yards. You know, he had some knee problems that cost him a chance at the single-season rushing record for Cincinnati last year, a record held by James Brooks. But the knee problem kept him out of the final game against Jacksonville. Charles Mann and I had that game. He desperately wanted to play, came out very early, tried as hard as he could, but just could not go on it.
John Thornton almost gave him another knee problem. He was back in that Bengal backfield in a hurry.
2nd down and 9 after the initial contact. And that pass is batted down. And Javon Kearse did get through. It looked like Salavea, 95, got his big mid up there and deflected it away. 4th round pick in 98 out of Arizona.
2 things a defensive lineman's got to be able to do: push and then recognize when the quarterback is releasing the ball and get his arm up and have a shot to affect passing lanes. Salavea did a tremendous job on both accounts.
Peter Warwick has yet to catch a pass. He's at the bottom of your screen. 3rd down and 9. Here comes the pressure. Smith with a fade and man coverage. Knocked away late. Dugans had it for a brief moment, but Michael Booker knocked it away. Well, Achille had the read that time. They just could not get the completion.
Tremendous job, because they were showing him cover 2. Marcus Robinson coming down high of the hole and then went to cover 3, which means they've got man-to-man coverage. The only adjustment for the receiver that is the fade. Looked back and saw it. He just didn't catch it.
Daniel Pope will boot it away. Derek Mason back deep. This is a short punt. Mason comes up, gathers it in with momentum, and is hauled down at the 44-yard line. 30-yard punt. St. Louis, number 48, down for the stop. 17-14.
One day, everyone in the world, no matter where they live in the world, will be able to invest in any company in the world. Trading will transcend international borders, transpiring with an ease and speed and economy that can only be imagined today. Where is the technology that will take us there? Technology that will open the wonders of the internet to all, connecting every investor in the world to every wired country in the world. There is a place where this technology is now taking shape, already laying the groundwork for a vast new world of investing. NASDAQ, stock market for the digital world.
Here I am, baby, crisp, juicy chicken just for you. I'm KFC's Twister, and I'm new. On that here I come, baby, with wedges and drink just $2.99. Straight from KFC to you. Now, how good is that?
Michelin would like to remind you, there's only one safety feature on the road that actually touches the road. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Ladies and gentlemen, check it out, Joe. Blackpot popular demand. Check it out, Joe. Are they crazy? Once again.
I'll be telling you which teams are headed uptown and which teams are headed downtown.
I'll tell you why he's wrong.
17-14 Tennessee, 7:45 remaining in the third. We got the news on Rodney Heath. It's an elbow injury. They've taken him in for x-rays. Artrell Hawkins, who formerly started at that cornerback spot, number 27 in the game now, matched up against Sanders. He got burned a couple of times last week and lost his starting job to Heath as Eddie George carries it for a couple of yards beyond the 45, near the 46-yard line. There's Artrell. Never easy when you lose your starting position, but now forced into playing the cornerback spot the rest of the way due to the loss of Heath. This is a big moment for him going up against, I think the feeling among the Cincinnati Bengals was that this is a bruised and bandaged wide receiver core, but Tennessee has certainly not been hurt by either Sanders or Derek Mason, rather than Yancey Thigpen or Carl Pickens, who they may have anticipated playing.
That's what Jeff Fisher told us before this game. He said, Spence, look, we're all right in terms of our receivers. We've got confidence in our guys.
Eddie George has another first down into Cincinnati territory at the 44-yard line. That's a 10-yard pickup. And this is a crucial drive for the Cincinnati D.
Eddie George, one of the things you like about him as a back is his vision. He's got tremendous ability to see where the play is developing. And then he's always, because of his size and strength, has every capability to get his shoulders down square and get plus yardage.
At the 43-yard line, 120 yards today for Eddie George. And keep running right at that left side. This time he's met. Takeo Spikes comes up, joined by Michael Bankston to make the tackle.
And that's Eddie's 24th carry, 25th carry make it. The more you give it to him, the better he's going to get.
I tell you, Spikes is fun to watch. That this is a Cincinnati front that has come under question and has been scrutinized many times. But these linebackers for Cincinnati, Spikes at the very top of that list, they fly to the ball. He's a heat-seeking missile out there. 2nd and 8. Out pattern, it's wide open to Wycheck. First down as he's taken out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That's a 15-yard gain, and Bankston ushered him out.
A lot of times, Timmy, teams will run combination or zone coverages, and you got a big guy like Michael Bankston out there trying to cover. He's dropping off in coverage. That's a mismatch right there. Now, I don't know if McNair saw that before or he read that in real time as the play was developing, but that's a big situation. 15 for 24 is McNair right now, 205 yards and 1 touchdown.
And Wycheck with 57 of those yards. 1st and 10. And the flag comes down. Looks like we had some premature movement by Tennessee offensively.
Prior to the snap, false start, 81, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Sanders, the motion man, moving a bit too quickly that time. I asked Jeff Fisher about last year's success. He said, well, it was so key for us to get out to a good start. We won a number of games by narrow margins, but we had a good start. In the 8-8 seasons, they got out to poor starts and were struggling to get to 500 or a bit better. Those 3 consecutive 8-8 seasons. Here's George. Ducks under to about the 29-yard line.
And, of course, they had a lot of things going on, too, Timmy. They were making the transition from Houston. They had played in 3 different facilities. And that's pretty tough on a team when you got so much change, when success in this league is predicated on repetition. Getting to look, seeing the same things all the time.
He was a tremendous leader for the homeless in the NFL. Second down and 13. Out pattern is incomplete. Wycheck did have Hawkins coming up for support quickly. Would have been a negligible gain even if he had reeled it in. 3rd and 13 coming up. Now, Tennessee coming in averages 6 more minutes than their opposition in time of possession. Today, they've gotten that done and then some. They're averaging 16.5 more minutes of possession.
You know, here's that point in the field when Steve McNair likes to throw that deep cross. He doesn't throw it a lot. And watch number 81 in the slot. Sanders.
A big play for the Cincinnati defense to stay in this game. Oh, Mason reeled it in late. And jitterbugs inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Steve Foley racked him down, and here's Foley and Mason getting with it. Better watch out. You stopped them, and you're going to force a field goal right now. You certainly don't want an unsportsmanlike penalty call. This field goal that's coming up now for Del Greco will be in the 40-yard range. I tell you, Foley, you knew he was going to come into this game with high emotion. We talked with Steve a couple of days ago when we were here.
You almost got to have an edge to you when you come out here and play, particularly on defense. Half the battle is your attitude, what you bring to the game day on Sunday.
A 41-yard try for Del Greco. Nothing to it. Al Del Greco adds to the hit list for the guys from Music City, USA.
Coach, you traded a #1 draft pick for Fred, an employee of the Staples Tech Center?
We think he's going to fit right into our group, so we were excited to get him.
Fred might be able to help you with the latest technologies, but he's never even played Pee Wee League before.
We're a little concerned about that.
Does this have anything to do with your team getting a good deal on cell phones?
Well, does it? That wouldn't be a new cell phone, would it?
No.
It sounds like one to me.
Where did that come from?
Oh, I got it from cellular1.com. Yeah? Oh, hi, sweetie. No, I should be home just a little bit after midnight. Oh, I love you, too. Yeah.
That's not the governor by any chance, is it?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business at guaranteed low prices. And by Cellular One. When you need a cell phone, Cellular One is here.
Tennessee leads at 20-14. The Bengals outscored 57-3 in the second half this year. But their defense did hold the Titans to just 3. Very important offensive series coming in as Yeast takes the short kick, and Greg Yeast is up to the 32 before he's pushed back. Rodney Thomas, among others down there. And you see Bruce Matthews, the veteran of 18 years. You know him very, very well. He did go in with that knee. No word as yet as to the severity of the knee injury. My guess is they'll have it x-rayed, maybe an MRI once they get back to Nashville.
And you know, when he plays the game, no one really enjoys the game as much as Bruce Matthews. He and Mike Munchak together, boy, was quite a tandem in Houston.
Munchak on this staff, a near pick there. Kelly Smith will breathe a sigh of relief over Samari Roll missing that one. The pass was just awry. Again, miscommunication between he and Peter Warrick.
That's exactly what you're looking at. And that was one of the things that Kenny Anderson talked about. He says these guys are young. They've got to be able to recognize coverages and see the same thing that the other is seeing. When that doesn't happen, particularly on timing routes, you're just asking for trouble. A near interception there.
Smith has missed his last 5 passes. This time it is nearly picked off. 2 in a row. Denard Walker had that one right in the breadbasket. Dugan's the intended receiver that time. And you see the frustration for Achilles Smith. At 38% in the second half, worst in the league.
Yeah, this is a quick slant. Nothing fancy about this. Another timing situation here. And you got to get a good break on the ball. And part of the reason why when you run a lot of timing routes, you're subject to get it intercepted is because you're eyeing that receiver on the run. And that defensive back, if he's smart enough, he's looking at that quarterback's eyes. In this case, Achilles Smith just telegraphed that pass.
A lot of 3rd and longs for the Bengals. 2 out of 8 conversions, and they've been facing 3rd and long. This time he fumbles it, picks it right back up, and manages a 2, maybe 3-yard gain to the 35. A disastrous series, and the fans show their emotion. Salavea up there to make sure that Achilles went no further. And it's 4th down and punt time again for the Bengals. And you get a feeling, as we talk to him, it's like that here we go again mentality. The problem may be internal. When we say internal, that means in the head, just having the confidence to get it done. Mason off the punt. Good move by Derek Mason as he hopscotches down the sideline to the 41-yard line. Another poor punt by Pope, 30 yards, and a nifty return for Mason.
Here at VMI, we were asked to try the Norelco Advantage for 21 days. There was quiet dissension.
I'm not giving up my blade.
And anxious inquiry.
The heck is this? Goo?
But then we started to realize the lotion actually gave us a closer, smoother shave than we expected, without the nicks and cuts of blades. Our fear diminished, our hopes arose, and life got a little less hairy.
Come on, babyface, move it!
The Norelco Advantage. It's guaranteed or your money back. Norelco, put it to the test.
Where do you find inspiration? Sometimes where you least expect it. With technology that takes you beyond old boundaries to something more inspiring. Like the compact ProLine server. With a 1.75-inch profile that fits everywhere, you can have your next big idea anywhere. Welcome to the new IT. Inspiration technology from Compaq.
Paging Dr. Norris. Dr. Norris.
When lives are on the line, you rely on the specialized training and expertise of real professionals. People who use the tools at their disposal to find out what's wrong and fix it. But even with years of experience, it's not always easy. Appearances can be deceiving, because even though this isn't a hospital, this is a surgeon. He just operates on cars.
Paging Dr. Norris. Your car is ready.
CarQuest, their professional choice.
It's Police Chief Jack Mannion's mission to stop crime.
Get down at the guard!
But 2 separate murders could be part of something bigger.
Where'd you get that?
Now he'll take on the feds.
Nothing personal.
What a shame. And his own men.
Mannion's not going to be around here very long.
To find justice.
You think crime is incurable? I refuse to accept that.
The District, CBS Saturday.
Peter Warwick in his first year, first-round pick, no catches today.
And you know he's frustrated. The most athletic guy right there on the field, on the bench, with no catching.
In college, we called him Michael Jordan with pads. I mean, the kid could do just about anything he wanted. But guess what? This isn't college.
Not Bula Bula.
No, that's right. Eddie George, about the 41-yard line. Takeo Spikes and John Copeland collaborate. Monday on CBS begins with The King of Queens, starring Kevin James and Jerry Stiller. Then it's the top-rated new comedy of the season, Yes, Dear, followed by Monday's #1 show, Everybody Loves Raymond. Then it's the season premiere of Becker, starring Ted Danson, and Family Law with new cast member Tony Danza. All Monday on CBS. 2nd and 9. Play fake, looking deep. A bit overthrown, intended for wide check. Adrian Ross, quality coverage of the linebacker, right there with the tight end. Vanderjack has a couple of field goals in that game with Indianapolis. Pittsburgh and New York. It was touched on at halftime, the injury to Vinny Testaverde. That's of great concern as we look at other scorers around the National Football League today. And the Ditka Bowl, New Orleans has a lead, looking for their 2nd win of the year. 3rd down and 9. Pressure, and here's McNair. Going to be 3 to maybe 4 yards shy of the first down. Tremaine Mack comes up to stop him. And the Titans will be forced to punt. They are 5 of 12 on third down conversions this afternoon. It's not been a textbook performance by Tennessee. They've had too many blown opportunities to say that, but you just get a feeling that they can call upon their reserve to get it done. They know now how good they are.
Yeah, sometimes that reserve can get you in trouble. I'm looking at McNair scrambling around there. He's got to get his shoulders down, hook slide in there or something, man. He's running upright. He puts himself in a lot of peril when he tries to get out of situations like that.
Hendrick to punt it away. Fair catch called for by Yeast at the 14-yard line. A 39-yard punt. It's not as if we were young the last time the Bengals were good, but still 10 years is 10 years. 1990. Now, Goodfellas was released. Murphy Brown was upsetting Dan Quayle. MC Hammer was telling us we couldn't touch something. And East and West Germany were, East and West Germany unite. All of that happened a decade ago, and you know, the futility is growing long. You know, we were out at practice the other day, and we saw the intensity and the emotion that Dick LeBeau was trying to bring, and the president of this team and the son of the man for whom this stadium is named, Mike Brown, was on hand. I think they like the direction they're going in with the new stadium. 144 luxury suites, 7,600 club seats, and now a coach, and Kenny Anderson, I think, the offensive coordinator for Dick LeBeau, reflects this. He remembers how good it was and does take pride in this organization. They have, after all, been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he's been connected with this organization for some 30 years. But again, the key here for this franchise, they've somehow got to
There's no challenge on the play.
We were waiting for a possible challenge, but there will be none.
There's got to be some connection between what Dick LeBeau is trying to do with his new theme and theory of discipline and results. So if they can connect that, then it's all worth it.
1st and 10. Warwick is not in the game. It's a 2 tight end set for Kelly Smith. Here's Dillon. He's stopped for a 3-yard loss. Randall Godfrey comes up to make the stop. Peter Warwick back in the game as we wind the clock down. Perhaps time for one more play here in the 3rd quarter. 14-10 was the Cincinnati lead at halftime. It's been all Titans here in the 2nd half. Dillon got 80 yards on 1 carry, and 12 other carries, only 13 yards. Smith getting away from trouble, and he has a lane. Slides down short of the 1st down. Only a precious few seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter with the ball at the 22-yard line. So 2 yards shy of the 1st down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter. That's only the 4th Bengal play that went over 5 yards on the day. Jeff Fisher's team leads it 20-14. We'll return to Paul Brown Stadium after this message from your local station.
CBS Thursday.
Let's get some help quickly, please. Gunshots are here.
What you see at this hospital, you'll never forget.
Oh, God.
City of Angels returns CBS Thursday.
Valerie Bertinelli in a world premiere movie. Personally yours, CBS Tonight.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Damon's, a dining event.
Damon, we're coming at you. Damon, winning ribs so hot. Damon has all the action. Damon, what your whole team wants.
From Damon's famous award-winning ribs to our new grilled chicken fettuccine with sun-dried tomato Alfredo, Damon's has something for everyone. On the lighter side, try Damon's grilled chicken breast salad for a fresh twist to a light favorite.
Damon, a dining event.
Live in Indian Hills, Colorado, but root for the Indianapolis Colts? Better get NFL Sunday Ticket. We've got your game.
If you live where Seahawks, Eagles, and Falcons fly, but root for the Cardinals, better get NFL Sunday Ticket. We've got your game. Live in Redmond, Washington, but root for the Washington Redskins, better get NFL Sunday Ticket. We've got your game.
Hey, Steve, call me Miller Lite.
Throw me Miller Lite. Throw me Miller Lite. Throw me Miller Lite. Toss me the remote. Hey, Peanuts. Oh.
Grab the unbreakable plastic bottle from Miller Lite.
I'm such a klutz. I'm Dan.
It's Miller time.
I'm okay.
Here's an example of the confusion here. Watch Ron Dugan here on a little out. He should break it because he's got soft coverage. Kelly Smith spills pressure, steps up, but doesn't stay with it long enough. He can turn that into an out route. That's a big play, but it's his anxiety caused him to rush the play.
All right, and we open the fourth quarter on a 3rd and short with Corey Dillon taking it ahead for a yard, maybe 2, not enough for the first down. And Cincinnati will have to punt it away. Joe Salavea comes up to stick Dillon. And Jeff Fisher is bouncing along, enjoying the afternoon's work of his defense. He takes great pride in his defense controlling the game's tempo. Pope has really struggled in terms of field position today. He's been averaging just over 30 yards a boot. This is another bad punt. And it's not a good roll, and a marker flies down, and you hear the crowds booing. I mean, it is just bad to worse in the kicking game. That's just a 26-yard punt. That inconsistency will add to the stress test at the end of a Sunday afternoon. It appears that we've got a holding penalty.
Holding. Well, the kick was in the air on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. Receivers will keep the ball, first down. Timeout.
Well, that's a break after just a 26-yard punt. You can add 10 to that on the basis of the penalty against the Tennessee Titans. They lead it. Opening moments of the fourth quarter as they look to go to 4-1 in the AFC Central.
You know me? Probably not. In my daily life, I like to be recognized. Hi. When I shop on the internet, I prefer a little privacy, which is why I use the American Express card. With private payments, I get the security of a unique number created for each purchase I make. It's just one of the ways American Express helps me protect my identity online. And soon they'll even help me surf the net anonymously, giving me the recognition I'm looking for. None. American Express. Don't leave home pages without it.
Sit down and listen to your inner voice.
My inner voice says honor my inner child.
Mine says love everyone.
My inner voice says I like a Wendy's bacon mushroom melt. David, you need to go deeper. Oh, okay. With biggie fries and a drink?
Wait, my voice is saying that too.
So's mine.
When you're hungry, Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with 3 strips of bacon and mushrooms in a cheddar cheese sauce is like a voice that can't be denied. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Boy, talk about inner peace.
Now you can receive a short text message over the internet. Then send back an answer. Or simply type in one of your own. Introducing two-way internet messaging, only from Nextel.
Buy a Nextel internet-ready phone starting at $99.99 and get an identical phone free.
Tina Sinatra on her father's last days, the woman she wishes he hadn't married, and what he and the mob did for Jack Kennedy. 60 Minutes tonight.
Javon Curse and the Tennessee defense getting the job done here in the second half, though Javon without the sacks that he would love to have. He's been double and triple teamed, and Willie Anderson's done a nice job on him today. And the Titans now have the ball after that penalty off the punt just past their own 40-yard line. There's the bootleg action, and Wycheck gathers it in at the 48, stumbles ahead to the 49-yard line. Tom Barnes makes the stop. Friday on CBS, the chase is on in the most talked about new drama of the season. TV Guide calls The Fugitive electrifying entertainment with eye-popping stunts. Tim Daly and Michael T. Williamson star in The Fugitive. Don't miss an all-new episode Friday on CBS. Second down and 3 coming up for the Titans with Mason and Sanders the wide receivers. Those of you that are just joining us, we should remind you that Yancey Thigpen and Carl Pickens, the former Bengal, inactive for today's game, both nursing hamstring problems. And a late flag comes down. Preliminary indication against Tennessee. Motion, Jason Matthews.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
I tell you, we haven't made much of this to this point, but playing for Brad Hopkins at the left tackle spot, who's also out injured. A lot being asked of him today against John Copeland, one of the veteran defensive stalwarts of Cincinnati.
Just a little flinch, that's all it takes sometimes. A good quarterback can do it with inflection on his voice. You got to be cognizant of that if you're on the defensive side of the ball.
George twisting and turning ahead for a first down. That's just a magnificent run. All too typical of the Eddie George style. A 9-yard pickup and a first down. Darrell Williams and Corey Hall, the safeties, forced to make that tackle, and that's just eye-popping for George facing safeties.
Number 27, a hard hat and lunch pail kind of guy, reading it, flowing, getting his shoulders vertical now once he sees that little void and opening. Boy, don't you love it? Low man wins every time.
Well over 100 today is George, and they'll continue to ride him here in the fourth quarter and play power football down to the 40-yard line. Steve Foley made the tackle. 142 yards on the ground, and now a little more activity. Takeo Spikes. I believe that is Steve Foley. Still involved with Jason Matthews. So we got a scrum going on.
Well, unfortunately, you know, Tennessee's the type of team that can deal with that kind of pressure. This Cincinnati ball club is too young, and on every incident today, when there's been physical contact beyond the whistle, they've initiated in some way.
Yeah. Second down, a little less than 2. George again, popping it outside. Markers down as Eddie George goes down at the 31-yard line. Corey Hall coming up. And the Bengals defense appears happy about the proceedings. Well, this one may come back. And the raging debate continues. I think because of the problems earlier, there's a lot more conversation going on right now.
I think we've had
illegal block in the back, 85, offense, that penalty is declined. Holding, number 88, offense, 10-yard penalty, that penalty is accepted. Second down.
Took a little longer because they had more of a decision-making process underway.
Yeah, that was Aaron Kenny. Watching number 88 at the end of your line over here. He's just hanging on. See, he's got that hand outside. That's the problem. If the official can see that that hand is outside, the guy's trying to get away from him, that's when you're going to get tagged for that every time. It's Michael Banks.
Second and 12. The delay to George. Well, they know when it's his time, don't they? Down to the 41-yard line. John Copeland runs him down from behind. The Titans are 17-1 when George rushes the ball 27 times or more. He has 30 today.
Well, they were bringing pressure here. This is the perfect play for pressure. Getting guys running upfield. You run a little slow draw, and you've got a perfect back there who can run that draw situation when you've got a bunch of bodies in front of you, because he's so patient, but yet he's so strong. When he eventually does find contact, he's going to be leaning forward for plus yardage.
Well, 125 yards last week, and the Ohio State Buckeye getting it done in a big way again today. This is 3rd and 3. A little shovel pass. Read by Cincinnati, but Wycheck just too much effort, and it's a first down. That was a well-conceived play, but Raynard Wilson was right there with him. Wycheck just forged his way to the first down. For an NFL update, back to New York and Jim Nantz.
Timmy B, the AFC's only unbeaten team. The Jets are in big trouble. Fourth quarter, Cordell Stewart to Bobby Shaw, the Steelers' first touchdown pass of the season. They're up 14 with 8:50 to go. Let's go back to Tim and Spencer.
Well, Slash getting it done now after taking a number of licks and losing his starting job at the beginning of the year. And
he's certainly had enough opportunities.
Indeed. Oh, George making it look easy now. Look at that. Down to the 20 for another first down. 17 yards for Eddie George.
You know, you talk about Eddie George. We know how strong he is, but John Copeland just missed an opportunity there to grab him. You measure a great runner's ability by what happens after he's touched. How many yards can he gain after he's been touched? 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He's a tremendous rusher for that alone.
201 total yards, 168 on the ground, 33 receiving for Eddie George. This is his drive, isn't it? Down to the 15. Corey Hall again wraps him up. And all the tackles now being made by safeties and corners.
You know, back in the day, they used to call that play the counter tray, where you get everybody flowing one direction, and then you just kind of roll it back slowly. Eric Dickerson used to make big yardage on that. You know, Eddie George is not the type of runner that he once was, but the key is if you get tremendous push, you can start to flow, because all of a sudden they've got to acknowledge when you go front side. Then you get good angles for your backside blockers coming against those backers, and all of a sudden that void gets a little bit more inviting each time you run that play.
Good news for the Bengals. He's winded. Rodney Thomas has come in.
Get your shoulders down.
And he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Takeo Spikes with the initial surge. Well, at this stage, Tennessee content to just let that clock wind down, eat up more clock, and even a field goal gives them a 2-score advantage over a Cincinnati team that has shown absolutely nothing offensively in the second half of this game.
You know, maybe being a backup to a receiver is as tough, but I don't think there's a more, particularly in a run-oriented offense, a more tough job than like Rodney Thomas has, coming in, spelling a guy who never comes out of the game, then they expect you to be in full swing once you do step in there. He's got tough responsibility.
Ninth play of this drive. It's 3rd down and 5. Over the middle, timing pattern incomplete. Rodney Heath back in the game and able to knock that one away from Derek Mason. Well, Heath, who had that elbow problem, apparently okay. He's had a couple of nice stops today. Good coverage here.
One of the reasons why you can have success, and this is a tough place to play, is because there's not a lot of field to defend behind you. So great defense can be played here because you can play closer. You don't have to defend a lot of territory behind you. Tough place to score at red zone.
Del Greco with a 22 and a 41-yarder. This will be his 3rd try of the day. This one from 33 yards out of the hold of Hendrick. Hooked it. You know, that was reflective of the first one that hit the upright and went through. It's still a one-possession game in Cincinnati.
So, Jim, the Calitech meeting's back on. I need you there first thing in the morning.
Great.
Hey, Dad. Jim? Just talked to Roy. He needs you at Calitech tomorrow. 10 a.m.
Good news. You're going to Calitech tomorrow. You've earned it.
Hey, man.
Hi. Hey, you ever been to Calitech?
For every reason to travel, there's a Best Western. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain.
The biggest news in motor oil since motor oil.
Let me show you something that really surprised me. Look what happened to the other leading motor oils after a 128-hour test designed to simulate severe driving conditions. But this is newly formulated Pennzoil with Pure Base after the same test. I'm no mechanic, but I know which one I'd rather put in my car. These, I don't even know what I'd do with these.
For protection so strong you can see the difference, get newly formulated Pennzoil with Pure Base.
You've always trusted us with your letters, your bills, your packages. Now, we're bringing the security and confidence of the real world into the virtual one. Introducing the U.S. Postal Service's e-bill pay. Enroll now to receive, pay, and send your bills online with the service you already know and trust.
Fly like an eagle into the future.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by American Express. With private payments from American Express, you can shop securely online. IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Pennzoil with Pure Base, protection so strong you can see the difference.
Turned into a cool, crisp, sunshiny day here in Cincinnati. Bengals trail by 6 after yet another blown opportunity by Tennessee. Now on cadence, Achilles Smith appears to get movement, although Willie Anderson may have moved first. Gold Carollo will have the story for
Prior to the
us.
snap, false start, 71, offense.
That is.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that may be Willie's first mistake of the day. He's kept Javon Curse quiet, but could not keep the referee quiet.
Yeah, you know, there's been probably as many penalties in the last 5 minutes we have in this entire game.
All against Tennessee. Gross, secondary receiver, makes the catch. Randall Godfrey wraps him up, his 7th tackle of the day. Godfrey's been very active for the Titans. And Gross now comes up limping.
You know, we've been talking about the time of possession, 37 minutes for Tennessee, 14 minutes for Cincinnati, yet they're still within striking distance, Tim.
Yeah, and when you see Del Greco hook one that badly from point-blank range, it could be quality karma for the Bengals today. Dillon lowers his head and runs into Samari Roll. And now a couple of completions for Achilles Smith. So you can see now Kenny Anderson's doing everything he can to get his confidence up. You see the last 4 possessions, nothing but punts for the Bengals. But high percentage passes, even now, this deep into the game, Kenny Anderson wants to see Achilles Smith throw.
Well, that lets you know, though, that he also is trying to protect this guy. He knows this is a long-term project. He knows that.
This one's caught by Dugans, but I believe he cut off the pattern too soon. Denard Walker comes up to wrap him up, and that's just not doing the job as a wide receiver. He didn't get the necessary yardage before he cut off his pattern.
Well, one thing, every receiver's got to know the down and distance, because there are real things that happen in real time. You're getting a little softer coverage here, a little check hook pattern. Well, there's not a whole lot he can do. It's just great defensive coverage there by Walker.
Pope will punt it away. Derek Mason with room at the 22. Artrell Hawkins the first to get down there. And he hits the deck shy of the 40 at about the 37-yard line. A good punt at long last for Pope. That one measuring 47 yards.
Where's Eric then?
He never misses a market.
There was a bad squall last night.
Maybe he ran up on some rocks.
Maybe he was swept overboard.
Maybe he drowned.
Or sharks.
Sharks.
Maybe he already sold his catch online from the boat.
Sharks.
Now you can sell anything from anywhere. Wireless e-business from IBM.
Visual, and you have the lead on the right. Okay, the lead on the right. Sights on. Left 9 now. Nothing else. You got the airspeed on me. Visual. Oh, there you are. Darn, I was hoping you wouldn't see me. There's my turn to gun track. Let's do that one again. Okay?
Just in case you didn't catch the number the first time.
Get ready for the new CBS Monday. Starting with Doug roasting his boss.
So nervous that I put a couple of your maxi pads under my armpits.
The King of Queens. And don't miss the #1 new comedy of the season. Yes, dear. Then it's Father Against Son.
Don't come to my funeral. I'm coming. I'll be the one doing this.
Everybody loves Raymond. And why does America love Becker?
Hello?
He says what you think.
If you want to talk on your phone, do what everybody else does. Go to a restaurant.
The Becker season premiere. It's all here, CBS Monday.
Samantha, here we go.
Meet Ernie Els. He's a regular guy just like you. Some days aren't as easy as others. Sometimes he too has to improvise. He's just like you. Except for the fact he won 2 majors by age 27 and can crush 320-yard drives. Other than that, he's just like you.
Oh, the many travails of Daniel Pope, averaging only 26 yards per boot, finally gets a good one, and Frank Chamberlain puts a hat on him, and it's been a bad enough day. Chamberlain smiles at him as he leaves the field. From bad to worse for a punter, even after a good kick. Here's McNair on first down. Little drag pattern over to Kinney. Aaron Kinney out to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 8. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Tina Sinatra, on her father's last days, the woman she wishes he hadn't married and what he and the mob did for Jack Kennedy. Tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by the season premiere of Touched by an Angel with special guest star Richard Chamberlain. Then Valerie Bertinelli stars in the CBS Sunday movie Personally Yours. It's all tonight on CBS. 2nd and 2 for Tennessee with 5:30 remaining in our game. Close to a first down. Eddie George, Michael Bankston met him. This may be one worthy of measurement. It will be. They'll bring out the chains.
You know, Tim, you're talking about how Anderson is protecting Achilles Smith. One of the things he's doing is throwing a lot of horizontal passes, a lot of high percentage passes where they know that they can get them completed. That's for 2 reasons. It's confidence for one, and then to prevent a potential situation that happened to him last week where they make a critical error. He knows his team is young, and it's going to take him a while to really develop the confidence that they need to be able to compete with a team like Tennessee and some of the other teams that they're going to face on a week in and week out basis.
I think most would tell you the AFC Central is not the toughest of divisions. If you want to get well, this may be where you need to be. For Tennessee, they didn't need to drop this game. Look what they've got coming up. Jacksonville, they're struggling, but you know they're going to get better. Camp Coughlin won't allow it. Then at Baltimore and at Washington. So their next 3 games, tough outs. They did not want to let this game slip away against a winless Bengals team.
Critical that they go in with some momentum.
Well, McNair kept it, but I'm still not sure. Cincinnati, pretty good job of holding him there. Depends entirely upon where the officials mark it. I still believe, no matter what the level of football, a left foot mark means first down. A right foot mark means he's short of the first down. You can never convince me otherwise.
Let's see if your theory holds up.
Look at that. On the road, 9-1 in the Central. We were talking about the AFC Central. I don't care what people think of the league or the division. 9-1 on the road in your own division is outstanding.
Yeah, they're road warriors, but you know what? They're yet to lose at Adelphia Stadium.
Yeah, see, he got a right foot mark. He's short. See, that's what happens when you're on the road, and Jeff Fisher's going to bark about it. Now he's forced to punt it away. That's good. A great defensive surge by Cincinnati's linebackers and Oliver Gibson up front. And it'll give Cincinnati a crack, still trailing by only 6, and Craig Yeast back deep. It's hard to believe the Bengals have a chance of winning this game.
Big plays will keep you in these type of contests despite the fact that you're way down in those critical areas of statistics. Possession time.
Inford did not get all of that one, and Yeast scoops it up. Pretty smart move, because had he not taken it, it may have gone dead inside the 10. Cincinnati still with a chance.
Local breweries. Beer shipped the same day it was born. Refrigerated distribution centers. Daily deliveries. Our exclusive Born on Dating. That's how we guarantee
Budweiser is the freshest beer choice out there.
There is no danger, however, as the satellite's now expected to smash into Quasi, an uninhabited part of the Australian outback. Scientists say the 12...
Do you, Yahoo?
I would start with
Hands like Chris Carter.
Jerry Rice's hands.
Fred Biletnikoff's hands.
For body-wise,
Isaac Bruce. Yeah.
my size.
Peter Warwick's agility. Agility-wise, probably Marvin Harrison. Hustle, Randy Moss. The breakaway speed of Rocket Ishmael.
Eyes, I'll have to go with Tim Brown.
Jimmy Smith's heart.
Heart?
Wayne Corbett.
My heart.
Oh, well, I take Isaac Bruce's competitive nature. That would be a receiver I'd like to have on my team.
He will probably set records that are actually unheard of.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by MVP.com and by America's Air Force. No one comes close.
Perfect day for football, right? Little breeze, temperature down around 35. Chance of snow, and Corey Dillon had one big run. Other than that, he's averaged a yard per carry. Well, they'll need him in this drive. Still down by only 6. And he carries it ahead for 3 and then is pushed back. They may only give him 2 yards of forward progress before being pushed back. Blaine Bishop right there among them. And he gives a love tap to Corey Dillon afterwards. Don't forget, more doubleheader action. The NFL on CBS with the Cleveland Browns taking on the Arizona Cardinals, or others. So the Oakland Raiders go across the bay to play the San Francisco 49ers. Smith from the backside, ball is loose again. Scooped up by Tennessee. Memories of Miami last week for Achilles Smith at the close of the first half. Holds true this time in the second half.
And look how slowly he's coming off the field, Achilles Smith. And part of what Nick LeBeau is trying to do is get his guys off the field when something bad happens. Pressure, he can't make a decision. Kenny Holmes is all over him there. Kenny does a great job of continuing to come. Smith just held this ball a little bit too long.
John Thornton the recovery, Kenny Holmes the hit. And Jeff Fisher says, I like it. I like it. Again, that comes with time, and we talked to Achilles Smith how he felt, and he admitted it. At 13-10 at the end of the first half last week, they felt they were defeated. They managed to stay in this game in large measure because of the Titans' ineptness to take advantage inside the red zone, and yet at the end of this game still a turnover crucial to Cincinnati's cause. George stopped for little or no gain. Adrian Ross makes the stop.
You know, to pick back up on that theme, though, you know, Dick LeBeau in practice, you know, we noticed that he was hurrying the guys up off the field. After they practiced, after they got through at each particular station, get off the field, trying to engender a sense of urgency in game time. Achilles Smith walked off the field after that situation happened. Again, when the conditions of the game impact your performance in that way, that's a sign that you're not on top of your game.
2nd and 9. 2 tight end set. Sanders the only wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Quick pitch. And George burrows inside the 20 to about the 19. I mean, they've had everything go their way. A pass interception return for a touchdown, an 80-yard run by Dillon. Achilles Smith's inability to get something done. His completions today for no more than 5 yards with the exception of one pass. One pass was for 15 yards. No other completion was for more than 5. Warwick without a catch.
Yeah, you can see the disappointment on Achilles Smith's face there. You know, he's the leader of this team by default, and by all accounts, he's basically still a rookie. He missed so much time last year. He didn't have the benefit, like Steve McNair, of having a Chris Chandler around to kind of learn some things from.
On 3rd and 7, George again with a cutback. And shy of the first down at the 16-yard line with the clock winding down near the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati will take a timeout. Foley there to make the stop. Tennessee looking for its 4th win in 5 tries against the winless Bengals.
Need sports equipment? Go to MVP.com. All the best gear, all the best brands, and insight to help you play your best. And right now, get free shipping on any Major League Baseball or World Series gear. MVP.com. Gear up for sport.
You sure about this?
I want everyone to know who I love. How much is this again?
50.
50. All I got is 41.
Come on. I get it fixed, Donna.
A 36-yard field goal, 34-yard field goal for Al Del Greco coming out of break. Here it is to distance this game to 9, 23-14. There it is. After hooking his earlier opportunity, Del Greco gets this one through to make the advantage a two-possession one for Tennessee. It's taken that long for them to put away the Bengals. Still 2:06 remaining. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman.
Timmy, you figured that the longer this game would go, it would favor Tennessee because they've been in this situation so many times dating back to last season. 9 games in which they've been involved in, all wins that they've won by 3 or fewer points. So they're comfortable with playing close, tight games.
Hendrick kicks it away. Yeast up to about the 35-yard line. Rodney Thomas and Mike Leach, a reserve tight end, the first to get down there. We will be back. It's 23-14 Tennessee.
Need sports equipment? Go to MVP.com. All the best gear, all the best brands, and insight to help you play your best. And right now, get free shipping on any Major League Baseball or World Series gear. MVP.com. Gear up for sport.
You sure about this?
I want everyone to know who I love. How much is this again?
50.
50. All I got is 41.
Come on. I get it fixed, Donna.
Very funny.
Next time, use the Visa check card instead of cash or checks. It'll get you in, out, and on with life.
Tonight, we had the perfect meal for us. The Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. You pick any of their special pastas, and you get all the free refills you want, plus all the salad and breadsticks for $7.95. Good thing I was born hungry. The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Introducing Goodyear's new AquaTread 3. A set on your car pumps away over 6 gallons of water per second. That's serious technology.
Serious freedom.
Freedom from worry.
Goodyear, Goodyear.
CBS Friday. Why would someone who just won $40 million in Vegas commit suicide?
Norman pushed. Norman jumped. Norman fell.
When the pieces of the puzzle just don't fit. These are the investigators who can crack the case. Gotcha. All new CSI, CBS Friday.
Cincinnati has 2 timeouts left. Tennessee has 3 timeouts left. Please correct the scoreboard.
We are getting the scoreboard corrected here in Cincinnati, 23-14. Make sure we get all of those timeouts in the proper perspective. Bill Carollo, our referee, is just done. As you look at Dick LeBeau, the reclamation project is a big one for the interim head coach of 63 years. And for that man, who was in the Super Bowl last year, the effects of expecting more of his team certainly there this season at 4-1 with 3 big games coming up on his schedule. Dugans gathers one in, and at long last, a pass completion of more than 15 yards. Eddie Robinson ushers out Dugans. 16-yard connection between Achilles Smith and Dugans as with a 9-point lead, Tennessee decides to soften that defensive umbrella just a bit. Clock stop with 1:50. See, Cincinnati does have a full complement of timeouts. Over the middle and caught. That's Brandon Bennett to the 34-yard line. Samari Roll cracks him down. You know, I watched Willie Anderson in that sequence against Curse. Boy, I was very impressed with what he did with Javon. And there's one real winner in today's game for Cincinnati. It's been Willie Anderson against Curse. That pass is incomplete for Warwick, and you can see the frustration. Still no catches for him.
That was his first real attempt. Yeah. He put it on his back hip, and he had no chance at it. On the prior play, the thing I'm looking at is the frustration on Dugan's part. A poor read by Achilles Smith. He was actually a better primary target than what he ultimately went to. He's just not scanning the field and making the proper reads.
2nd and 10 at the 34-yard line of Tennessee. Nice move there by Warwick to bring it in for a first down. His first catch of the day, Michael Booker there to provide the coverage. 11-yard pickup and a first down. Clock ticking at 1:10 and counting.
Underneath Warwick.
Looking for something deeper. Smith now running out of time. Fortunate that he didn't fumble that one away. They're going to rule it an incompletion. He was outside the box, obviously, and Bennett was in the general area. He had gotten outside the pocket.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Perhaps his best decision of the day here, the flip pass under duress, stop the clock. Yep. Actually, he didn't even try to do that. Did he get it knocked out?
Yeah, Javon Curse got a hand in there. That's the first time. Yeah, Javon got a hand in there, but you know, you're right. He had Warwick underneath, chose not to take him. But he does have still some timeouts remaining. That should be offsides. Maybe motion against Cincinnati. I think it's going to be motion against the Bengals.
Prior to the snap, false start. 82 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Tony McGee trying to prepare to block, setting up, backpedaling, got off the line too quickly. 2nd down and 15. Under a minute remaining, trailing by 9, 23-14. Smith throws that one away, and a late flag comes down at the 20-yard line. Away from the play and in the Tennessee secondary. And it'll go against the Bengals. It's gone from bad to worse for Cincinnati. Just when they get up some momentum, they begin to back up.
Yeah, so much.
Ineligible player on the offense, illegally downfield, number 62. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That's Gutierrez, the center, moved out while Achilles Smith was ad-libbing.
So much opportunity lost for this Cincinnati club. Again, they came in with a lot of expectations, a lot of momentum in terms of a positive first half against a quality defensive Miami team last week, so they could see progress, but once again, just coming up a little bit too short.
3rd and 15. That's incomplete. Thrown too short for McGee. And on 4th down, they will try to get the points, and you can understand that. But it will be a long drive for Rackers. But at this stage, you need the points and then an onside kick. This will be about a 46-yard try. And you'll poke the hole. He had one deflected earlier today. I think they may have had a clock malfunction with the play clock.
We'll review the ruling on the field that it was an incomplete pass.
Oh, it's going to be a review.
I didn't see anyone challenge it.
No, well, in the last 2 minutes. So in the last 2 minutes, it's up to the officials. They can take advantage of it at any time they want. really would not make any difference. It's still a 4th down situation, and time to take the field goal and move on. I think that's the point that LeBeau is making, prolonging the inevitable. In other words, we need the 3 anyway. But they're going to make sure that it was, in fact, an incomplete pass, or it clearly was incomplete. Ball went right through his bread basket, hit the ground before he brought it in. Good call. You see it right there, coming loose.
The ball definitely made contact with the turf.
I think the point he's making is that even, again, it's not as if it would be a 1st down. They would still have to try the field goal. Well, today, some big news around the National Football League. Pittsburgh beating the Jets, and Testaverde hurt. The severity of that they'll touch on in New York. And again, we're going to show you that the call was correct. And again, while they feel a need to review it, it would not make any difference. They're still going to have to try a field goal.
After reviewing the play stance is called incomplete. The ball hit the ground. 4th down.
While the Bengals have struggled offensively, their former quarterback, Jeff Blake, 3 touchdown passes today for New Orleans against the Chicago Bears. Of course, Jeff was never happy here. In fact, in the conversations I had last year with Bruce Coslett, Jeff Blake, and at the time Carl Pickens, it was hard to get an optimistic view from either of those 3. But he's doing well with the Saints. Their 2nd win of the year, it appears, against Chicago. From 46 yards, Rackers, not there. And the chorus of boos heard for the last 10 years in Cincinnati ring.
Access NFL.com. Monday is film day.
Access NFL Films highlights.
Tuesday is a day off. I love the shop.
Access NFL Shop.
Wednesdays, we get the scouting reports.
Access player profiles and stats.
Thursdays, we're talking about the upcoming game.
Access player chats.
Friday, final roster, final preparation.
Access fantasy football.
Weekend hits, showtime.
23-14, Tennessee with the lead over Cincinnati. Just 40 seconds remaining. Time to take a knee and go back to Nashville. And the Titans will move to 4-1 with Jacksonville next up. The only team the Jaguars could not solve last year, the Tennessee Titans.
They're a quality team. I mean, they've got a lot of good things going for them. They got a great coach. They got great back. They've got a great tight end. They've got great receivers when they're healthy. Every reason to be optimistic.
Well, I think the good news for the Titans is they got this one out of the way with the understanding that Thigpen and Pickens will both be available to them next week.
Yeah, let's hope so, because they've had problems with those hamstrings and concussions and everything else. The key is they do have an opportunity to come back and be something special when they get their full complement of receivers in this lineup.
Well, with the exception of the gap against Kansas City and
that's the end of the game.
It is, and we'll move on. Tennessee beats Cincinnati by a final score of 23-14.